lot's happened over the past week. There's big updates to the protests in Iran and a huge update to the war in Ukraine, and we're here to talk about Egirl drama. Okay, look, it's not like the most valuable thing to learn about, but boy, is it there's something about it that just the eye is drawn to it. It's like a car crash on a highway and you have to slow down to 40 miles an hour because you want to see what happened. Even though you should be just driving down the road of life. But e-girls and drama, it goes together like mogul mail and subscribing. So let's hop in to the hot, juicy drama. And before we dive in, it is worth noting that these are all real people. And although I think their actions are deplorable, I don't feel like the actions of any of my viewers should somehow be worse, all right? Stoop to that level, right? Like if your first thought when looking at some of these horrible comments from these e-girls is like, they're ugly anyway. That's a dumb thought, because if they were pretty, then they like shouldn't get the pass. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's try to be cordial and enjoy from the sidelines all of the drama that came from a leaked Twitter group. Now, it's kind of dumb how this originally got leaked. Basically, these girls had a Twitter group with a lot of people in it. I think they kicked some people out of the Twitter group. Some people in the Twitter group's accounts got deactivated, and then they used that Twitter group to talk hella shit, like hella shit. Let's just take a look at a few of these. Okay. Wow. I'm going to pretend that Steph, presumably another e-girl, gave me COVID and called me a slur. I want her canceled immediately. And these are all, by the way, like, famous, semi-famous e-girls, hundreds of thousands of followers. Some of them have millions of followers. And basically the entire thing they do is they'll post a picture of somebody who they don't like, and they'll trash that person Mean Girl style. Which is just that's it. So this is like some girl's Twitter post. She's talking about how she attempted to take her own life days before high school graduation. And then the reply of one of the girls is petition to get her to try again. Like to try killing herself again, which is crazy. What a crazy thought to have. And then also share with people. You have to wonder for a moment, and there's more of these, but you have to wonder for a moment, what kind of ecosystem was created where people feel comfortable sharing those thoughts? And I have to imagine it's because that's like the culture, and it's either stab or be backstabbed, right? So like if you're not talking shit in conjunction, then everyone else might turn on you. They make another group, and then you start getting made fun of. It's like all in a way to fit in with the one human desire that we all seek at the end of the day, which is to be noticed, heard, appreciated, and feel like we fit in. But if you feel like you're fitting in because you're trashing other people, then maybe you're not the best person in the world. The posts continue. I hate drama so much. I don't really believe that sentence. And then the final one is hideous ogre monster with Belle Delphine lips. Jesus Christ, man. And that's just the start of it. That's just the start of this. This is another video. What are your honest thoughts about this? Anyway, she's fat and she can die. Okay, jeez, man. They talk about how everybody's ugly. I mean, look, you guys can dig into these posts. I sat there for like 25 minutes last night just scrolling through. I even found people replying with like videos of all the conversations. It goes deep. The rabbit hole goes very, very deep. And again, it's like it literally feels like just out of Mean Girls without the hilarity of the writing from that, and it's just take picture of person and write you a monster. I hate when white people use minority struggles and racism to make others hate someone. I don't even know where they're going with that one. And then I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people on Twitter have way too much time on their hands, and I say this because I was literally 17 and deranged. Did the same shit where people would just shit talk people I hated, but now I just avoid them at all costs because it's so weird. And these girls will be fake nice and then say a bunch of shit and are grown. Okay, this I think is just projection, right? Because they're talking about how much they hate how people will talk shit online and be fake nice. And then on a private account, they said, you're so fat, lose weight and turn pretty challenge. Cancer failed. She's so ugly. I'm crying. Fat whore. So like, it just doesn't, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I do think that's a thing, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. I think it's a thing specifically like with like some of the like the e-girl communities I've seen online. It's not exclusive to women, where they're so weirdly positive in replies with pictures. Right? Like it'll be a girl that posts a picture and then you'll see like 100 replies that are like, step on my throat and crush me with your coochie. Suffocate me with your breasts until I die. You're so pretty. But it all feels like a contrived, made up compliment to like be part of some in-group, as opposed to like a genuine connection you're trying to make in a genuine support. Sometimes it is, by the way. Actually, a lot of the times it is the latter, but it is also so much the former where it's just, fake message because that's what you're supposed to do online. I don't know. I don't really get it. The messages go on and on and on. But this is not what took down some of the e-girls because the messages spawned a lot of mini detectives who looked not that hard at old tweets from just a few years ago, 2017. And those 2017 tweets, well, they were rough. They were rough. I pulled up this one. This is from the most popular e-girl. Her name's Amber. She has like 1.2 million followers, which is like about as many as I have. And she says, I hate when people retweet Lily Pichu. I just blocked her. She's so fucking annoying, famous for a lolly voice. She's fucking autistic. She's famous for nothing. Okay, Jesus Christ. Now, I say this to Lily's face, but that's because we're friends, and that's different. But also, this was before she was famous, which brings me to the main thing I want to talk about today, which is how influencers all have a forced, contrived, buttoned-up personality because you have to. You have to when you're that big and famous. Otherwise, if you posted stuff like this, it would come out and people would hate you, which I guess you could do, but then you become Carlos and you post circle emojis all day. And so the influencers that you watch online, including me, their entire like moral compass and like how great of a person they may seem and how nice they are in a beacon of positivity and maybe charity work and all of that is forced. Like they have to be that person. Not to say that they cannot also be a great person. Maybe they started that way. Maybe they were that way behind the scenes. But even if they weren't, they have to transition that way. You've probably seen countless edgy content creators turned like the squeaky clean SpongeBob because that's just what happens when you grow bigger. If you want to keep growing and you want to get sponsorships, because otherwise you get a little too big, people start noticing if you've been an asshole your whole life, and then it all falls apart. Because if more people hate you or even half as many people hate you as like you, I think that's overwhelming pressure and not many people can keep up with it. Anyway, this was not as bad of a post. You might be wondering like, oh, why are they canceled for this? Well, there was also like several N-word posts. I'm not showing them because like, I don't want to get my video demonetized, but like so many N-word posts. And then they spent the better part of the day deleting a lot of their old posts and also going to Discord to say, why are people mad about the fat shaming? Just don't eat and go to the gym. Why are they not fat shaming? That's my question. And they doubled down. They just doubled down. I'm not kidding. I've curated a community that fat shames people and bullies people. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's like a resume to become like a moderator for Sneeko, not exactly something that you want to like start bragging about when you're walking around town. I don't know. I don't get it. What's the update to the e-girls, you might be wondering? Deactivated. What privated? And one apology. I think there might have been like another apology. This is again from Amber, the biggest one. Maybe some hope, 1.2 million followers, that they can come back at some point and keep making content and making money from being an e-girl. We'll see about that. What's the apology though? I'm deeply apologetic to everyone I hurt and offended by the tweets I made in 2017. I was immature in trying to fit in with the wrong people. That's not an excuse. Those tweets are not a reflection of who I am today. Although I am no means a perfect person, I have since grown up and done my best to move on from the environment that I was in. I am ashamed of how I acted in previous years, and as of recently, still have a lot of reflecting to do. As for the group chat and Discord messages, I realize the behavior is harmful and the things that were said. Okay, yada, yada, yada. It does read a bit like what you're supposed to say. And I think what I've learned about like successful apologies, there's always a thing that you're supposed to say. And I think we've had a shift where creators have gone from like saying the dumbest thing possible and trying to like garner sympathy through dogs and to like saying the thing you're supposed to say, like the PR thing. And now I think there's a shift from the people who watch, like the viewers. They want something that feels kind of real, right? Like something that feels like there's a human behind the words. Even if it's an apology, I think a great example of this is like Jenna Marbles. It's like, oh, there was a human behind that. Like, oh, she cared. Like, she gave a shit. She's sad, sorry, and wants to move on from it in that part of her life. This is like, hey, I'm going to do the checklist of the things I'm supposed to do so that maybe in like 6 to 12 months it all washes away. I can post my titties and get to make money. And I think people caught on to that because there was a huge viral tweet that said, no fucking way, man. And it's Chat GPT, and it says, write an apology for being a horrible, mean person and also for bad tweets written in 2017. And it's a word for word reshot of the actual apology. Obviously, this is fake. A lot of people believe this, but that's just a little media literacy problem. So she had to make a second apology where she said, "My apology was not AI generated," which is crazy. That's something that has to happen, and so that's something someone has to do. Anyway, you might be wondering, how did all this get out? Like, how did the group chat get leaked? Well, one of the people that was in the group chat that they made, and they removed people from because they didn't make a new one to talk shit in, their accounts got reactivated. So they just saw all the messages after their account got reactivated. And they're like, oh, that's fucked up. And then they leaked it. So anyway, that's the Egirl drama. Crazy. If you have 10 minutes and you want to feel like a piece of shit and scroll through it, feel free. But do remember that all the creators you watch online could be pieces of shit like this behind closed doors, but we are all forced to be good and play nice because we want to keep our jobs. Am I a good person? Subscribe to find out. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye. All right, goodbye.